He pretty much bought a seat, and even when he did, it wasn't by very much. So the fact that he thinks he's going to be viable in the presidency is absolutely ridiculous. And second of all, you got someone like Mitt Romney, who absolutely no one likes, no one agrees with, no one has a policy position for him because they're either right-wing, they want immigration, they want a wall, and no one can stoke their fears like Mitt Romney. He's one of the people to really come out and do that. Like, after all the things he said about Trump, after all the times he's come out and disagree with him, that speech he gave, he's like, he's a fraud, he's not a good... Donald Trump is a fraud, he's not a good businessman. Like, you're telling me you think that's the kind of person someone wants. And maybe he thinks they're not going to do very successful. And by the way, you think Kamala Harris is left-leaning. Give me a break. Give me a break. Bannon also argued during his appearance that Senator Bernie Sanders could have forced such a contest in 2016, but he lacked a fearlessness of a more non-judicial candidate like Michael Avenatti. Yeah. What a real political genius Steve Bannon is. Oh, yeah. Michael Avenatti is the person for you. That's right. Michael Avenatti. Real political genius. Yeah, Avenatti is obviously the Stormy Daniels lawyer, and he's tried to use his position to pretty much launch himself in a presidential campaign. And by the way, someone who's really going to just fly through the campaign process really easily. Like, he's going to get attacked from the Republicans from all sides. And sure, he's going to defend himself, but that's going to be the problem because he's not going to have time to focus on anything else. And the American people are going to get a campaign just like the last one. And if you want to see a campaign like that, where someone like Michael Avenatti is being attacked and is attacking back in equal measure against President Donald Trump, the Republicans. And by the way, there's no time to discuss issues. There's no time. There's no substantive candidate in the race. Just someone who literally just copy and pasted Bernie Sanders' platform and said, "This is what I believe in," with actual no evidence, no political record, no history of fighting for things. If we as Democrats want to be the people who support that, knowing the time we're in, knowing the place we're in, and not actually do a real progressive fighter, put him up, someone like Bernie Sanders, it's really ridiculous. The lawyer has taken up positions to the left of Hillary Clinton in 2016. Please, I doubt that. Really doubt that. He holds those positions sincerely. If Bernie Sanders had an ounce of Avenatti's fearlessness, he would have been the Democratic nominee, Bannon said on Friday. When we had a much of time beating him, Bernie doesn't have fearlessness. Bill Maher responded, questioningly. He was like, "Bernie doesn't have fearlessness?" Not like the fighter Avenatti, Bannon replied. He's fearless. He's got a fearlessness and he's a fighter. I think he'll go through a lot of this field if he decides to stick with it. But there's not going to be time for any discussion. No new policies. This is what he's going to say. Trump, like, there's not too much he can attack him on because he's relatively. He's not really had a lot to go through with the Republican base. It's pretty much just going to be one big debate over Medicare for all, and pretty much him being attacked as someone who, like, he can't pay with it. Like, this. What do you think Bernie could possibly be attacked on by Trump? Okay, his policies. First of all, we're talking about policies here, which is a massive improvement from anything Michael Avenatti could have brought to the table. And so what he's going to say, his policies are too far to the left. And that pretty much becomes, again, as I said before, a big debate, a big discussion over Medicare for all. And when you get to that, it's an easy win for Bernie Sanders because Medicare for all is extremely popular, and Bernie Sanders and his surrogates are extremely adept at answering conservative questions and questions by the so-called liberal media that get asked over and over and over again, like, how are you going to pay for it? He's answered that probably about 3 trillion times. So is Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and all those type of people who have answered it time and time and again, or will be asked it again. And that's a fight he's eventually going to win. So I think Bernie would be having a much easier time than Michael Avenatti because there's nothing really they could attack him for. They could attack him for his policies. They could say he's too far to the left. They could try to scare people like they've been pretty much doing. I just assume, like, unless there's anything like crazy they're able to dig up, which I think is unlikely, being that it's Bernie, other than like he has an Audi R8. But even though he's like literally one of the poorest people, like he's the poorest senator out there. It's just ridiculous that they think Michael Avenatti is going to sell. Because there's nothing. He's like he's the most popular politician in the country. Trump's one of the least. I just don't see how you screw that up. Like, I don't see who would go with Michael Avenatti, somebody who's, again, very polarized, very liked only among liberals, and not, but like MSNBC liberals, and it's a different type of like liberals than a larger majority of the Democratic base who don't obviously just look on the ratings. Like, they don't watch, this kind of stuff. They just don't stick with it, if you know what I mean. They just don't really know a lot of policy. That's what I'm going to call it at this point. But the fact that someone like Michael Avenatti would be considered as a real presidential candidate in a time like this just shows you how quickly and how fervently we need to push to stop something like that from happening, which is just very disturbing, to say the least. It's really just, again, all around, Michael Avenatti versus Bernie Sanders. It's a laughable suggestion to say that Michael Avenatti may be better. You do not know anything about politics, and obviously Steve Bannon doesn't. All right, that's what we're putting to end the show. We hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for a little bit of the chaos there, but hopefully we earned your listen and you had a great time spending an hour and 7 minutes with us. Appreciate it. Oh yeah, by the way, we're doing Global and Newsflash on tomorrow's day, on Sunday. We're going to have Global for you and Newsflash. New episode of Global, new episode of Newsflash, talking gone by for this crazy week in American political history and just history in general. That's going to be tomorrow. Also, we're going to talk about French Revolution, Enlightenment goals. That's all tomorrow. Very, very big stuff coming your way. All right, we'll get right to it tomorrow. So hope to see you then. It's going to be a busy, busy day on Sunday, September 30th. Hopefully you will tune in.